And I have now hit record. Alright, everyone. So here's the deal. For anyone watching this after the fact, I was going to play Starbound tonight to do my awesome finale, but nobody showed up except Templar and another friend of mine who was not in a position to talk. So I decided to instead postpone it to tomorrow, at which point I will hopefully be able to start much earlier and get more people watching, because I didn't want Starbound to go out with a whimper. So, yeah, I'm playing Loop Hero in the meantime, because Templar hadn't seen it before, and I thought it'd be fun to show it off. I'm gonna turn my volume up just a little bit. Alright, yeah, so Loop Hero is this unique game with some cool pixel graphics. You can also change the graphics a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, like you can change your pointer if you want to. This is the default, but I like this one. You can turn the CRT shader on or off. I kind of like it on. It looks very cinematic. But yeah. Let's see. Which save slot was it? It would be this one. So you've got this hub zone, for starters, Templar. This is where you can build various structures to improve your survival ability and all the different stuff you can do, basically. For example, campfire, the starting spot. Hero restores 30% of his max HP upon entering the campfire tile in actual gameplay. Field kitchen, plus 10% to the campfire's healing power, unlocks the Bloodgrove card. So you can build stuff by collecting resources throughout gameplay. You've got statistics if you care about that stuff. I kind of love how this looks a little bit like an MS-DOS readout or something. Templar says graphics a bit confusing at first, but I could get used to it. What's confusing about it? Templar says, like, all I see is a forest at first. I can kind of make out the structures you were mentioning. Yeah, this is an overhead view, and I guess it helps you to understand the plot. Basically, for reasons I don't recall off the top of my head, all of reality has basically disappeared. Just straight up. You play as a guy who somehow survived the disappearance and discovered that he can rebuild reality by kind of remembering things in a way. He encountered other people who were the same way, and so they are, quote-unquote, slowly remembering the camp around themselves, which is why it's pitch black, but you've got these forested edges and stuff. There goes my dog being a jerk outside again. Man, she has been really rowdy today. But yeah, you'll see what I mean moving on. So we got the expedition menu. And here we've got Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Because I've already defeated this boss, this is the next one. This boss is cool, though. He's the Lich. Really cool dude. He's implied to be the big bad of the game until you defeat him, and it's like, oh no, I'm just a mook. So I'll do Chapter 2. And you can have different classes to play as well, but I think I've only got one at the moment, which is the Warrior. You've got all these cards that you can set or turn off as available randomly drawn options for building your map. So, the Grove spawns a rat wolf every 2 days. Rat wolves can move to adjacent tiles. Village heals 15 plus 5 times loop count HP upon entering and gives you a quest. Battlefield spawns a chest on an adjacent tile each loop. Enemies on the tiles around it can become ghosts when they die. You've also got tiles you do not normally walk on, such as Meadow, heals 2 HP at the start of each day. Oblivion erases any established tiles and erases monsters from the road. Treasury gives a random basic resource after placing anything on an empty tile around it. Must be surrounded by empty space when you build it. So you've got all these neat effects going on, as well as some secret synergies. Like, I believe if you... Let's see. I believe if you put a blood grove next to a regular grove, it kind of like infects the grove or something and becomes a unique type of tile. If you build up enough rocks or mountains around each other... Or no, if you build up enough rocks... No, is it rocks, mountains? I believe it's if you build up enough rocks around each other, you get a mountain, or if you build up enough rocks and mountains around each other, you get a canyon or something like that. I don't remember how it works, for sure. You've got different decks you can pick from. Of course, you got a minimum and maximum number of cards that you can add to the deck. And these are... Then there's traits, which are basically like you can level up the character as you're looping around the run. And with each level up, you get to pick a trait that's like a stat boost or something. Like, Second Thoughts. You'll get a new choice of 3 traits, doesn't cost a trait point. Buckler. Every counter heals the hero for 1.5 times loop count HP. Omicron's Technique. Grants the hero +1 resurrection with full healing. So yeah, there's a lot going on in this game to fill you in. But now I'll just show you what the actual gameplay looks like, I guess. So we start here, we go in a loop. And for the first day, that's all you really can do. Gameplay is automatic. I have it set to pause after each battle. I got a sword from that encounter and a mountain. So these are the areas where I can place the mountain. Let's see. I'll put it here, because I like to put treasuries in the corners, and you cannot put a treasury next to something to start out. So we got the mountain now, +5 HP for each adjacent rock or mountain, so it increases my HP by a little bit. This looks addicting. It's a little bit addicting. I wouldn't say it's as addicting as, I wouldn't say it's quite as addicting as Arknights or... Gosh, I had a favorite a while back. FTL. FTL is really addicting, too. But this is a really fun one. Let's see, I'll put that there. So now we have a Meadow. Heals 2 HP at the start of each day. So meadows do healing, mountains do maximum stat boost. Whoops. Spawns a skeleton every 3 days. A place for the dead and for some of the living occasionally. So yeah, here's one that we place on the actual field. And I'll put it right in the middle, right there. So now we've got armor and shielding. And these have stats: defense 3, max HP 88, damage to all, damage 4 to 6. Let's see, now we've made one loop because we went through that campfire. So we healed up just a little bit. You want to see something cool? Now there's flowers on the meadow, and it's a blooming meadow. Heals 3 HP at the start of each day, so it's just slightly better because I put a rock down next to it. Rock heals +3 HP, or no, increases HP by 3, and +3 more HP for every adjacent rock or mountain. Now, don't take my strategies with a grain of salt, because I have no idea if I'm actually good at this game. I think I've only made it 3 or 4 chapters in, back when I played much more seriously. See, this sword is actively worse than the one I already have equipped, so I'm not going to equip that. Let's see, where do I want to put the village? I used to have some pretty decent strategies, but it's been a hot minute, man. This armor is better. Now the thing is, if you equip something over an item you've already equipped, it gets rid of the first one. You can't just swap items out. Yeah, you can't take anything out of your equipment once you've equipped it. It's just straight up destroyed. You may also notice these these faded out sections and these broken ones, and that's because different pockets are for different classes, and I think the broken ones have to be unlocked. Templar says, I wish you could fuse them or something. Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Here we got a ring, but notice it's orange, so it's got a higher rarity. And higher rarity means more stats. Pure damage 2, damage to all 2, attack speed plus 4%, evasion 3%. A straight up improvement over what we had before. Road Lantern reduces the maximum number of spawning enemies on the tiles around it. Road Lantern effects can stack, so it's usually a good idea to put Road Lanterns in corners. This would be most beneficial right here. But now we've got the Vampire Mansion. Adds vampires to battles on the tiles around it. Let's put it here. And now we've got another synergy. Ransacked Village. The farmers couldn't fight off a hungry vampire. They could still fight you off, though. Spawns up to 4 ghouls once per loop. Transforms into something useful after 3 loops. So this is a long-term benefit kind of a thing. Long-term gamble, rather. I did not mean to put that there, gosh dang it. Oh, also there's an escape button if you want to get out early. That's just what I had before. Also, you have an inventory for just items you've collected that can be used on your base, and you can affect the speed of walking and the speed of combat. See, it's much slower now. I think the only issue I have with this game is after it goes on for a while, it gets pretty sleepy, but because goodness knows that's probably good for me anyway. Shoot, did I put these in the wrong place for this? Swarm of bats showed up in the middle of the fight. So now you notice we got a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, I did put these too close, gosh dang it. And that's right where I didn't want it. Let's put the grove there. Templar says, okay, so the cards that you place on the track hurt you, but they can benefit you later on. Some of them can. Some of them are straight up beneficial, some are straight up harmful, and some can change. Like now I'm dealing with a whole bunch of guys, and I might die right here. Yup. You've died in battle. Death does not favor the fallen, but it made a little exception for you. Retreat. You keep 30% of all resources found if you leave now. And I cannot take all. I'm alive? But how? So I guess that was my first death, actually. Thanks to us. A small group of us dragged you back here. It wasn't easy. How did you fight off all those monsters? They nearly killed me. That's also interesting. Many of them were vanishing right before our eyes. Some we managed to avoid, but I think most of the monsters were gone before we left the camp. I think your trips are deeply connected to your memory, my friend. It all fades away as soon as you space out for long enough. So that's cool. Also, these symbols mean that this post can be upgraded. Can I build anything important? Does not seem so, which is a shame. Templar says, so this is a roguelite and not a roguelike. Man, I don't know. Since you can get permanent upgrades. I mean, a lot of roguelikes will let you have permanent upgrades of some kind. Like, there's Enter the Gungeon, which I guess it doesn't necessarily give you permanent upgrades, but you can permanently add stuff to the dungeon so you have a greater range of options. And then there are different modes that let you specifically pick some things, you know? Templar says, yeah, that makes him a roguelite. Alright, I guess I'm just getting mixed up then. I'll take your word for it. So I guess let's do Chapter 1 to see if we can build up better resources so we're more prepared for Chapter 2. Also, fun fact, you can unlock a Necromancer class, and this is the only game I've ever played where I actually like playing a Necromancer. It's actually a really nice class. We got a Blood Grove, but nowhere to put it yet. And see, the route that you have is also randomized. Good to put it there. Still don't have a grove. Let's see, I'll put the Vampire Mansion here. Now, I do wish you could affect the combat in some way, like deciding what to target. But sadly, that is not the case. Templar says, I don't have a problem with roguelites, I just am making sure I know what I'm seeing. This camp that you were talking about first is where you get permanent unlocks. Basically, yeah. Oh, I forgot. It's usually a good idea to build around the campfire for Chapter 1, because the boss of Chapter 1, once he shows up, he builds like a castle around your campfire. But the more stuff you have around it, the fewer parts of his castle he can build, and that weakens his power. Okay, so I guess I was wrong about the Grove and Blood Grove having a synergy. I could have sworn they did. But what was their synergy then? Oh, no, I remember it. Okay. So now that I've got these next to each other, because that's how groves work, how blood groves work, if I take out the regular grove, the blood grove becomes like a hungry one that has some, like, it becomes more powerful, but also will occasionally spawn a really tough enemy. So there's a neat little tidbit of lore for you. Ah, here we go, a treasury. And a beacon. Plus 40% movement speed within its range and plus 20% attack speed for all units. So I guess it's just a worthless landmark in a world with no direction. So I guess all it does is to speed things up a little bit. Yeah, I'll put that. What do you think, Templar? Left or right? Templar says right. Alright. Attack speed or vampirism? Or regen per second? What do you think, Templar? Should I do regen or vampirism? See, the thing is, I don't know if regen per second is overall or just only when moving or something. Vampirism's no doubt only when attacking. Templar says, what does vampirism do again? Is that lifesteal, like 30% of your damage to health? I think that's what it is. I've never actually confirmed it. I don't know what else it could be, though. My attack's not all that high right now anyway, though. So maybe I should just do regen. Let's try it. I can keep this ring anyway. Oh yeah, it's just constantly going up. Okay. So that was a good call. And there we got level 2 armor. And this one has vampirism on it, so I can replace this. Man, I just keep getting level 1s that all have the same stats. And you'll see this thing just showed up, a goblin camp. The sound of backstabbing can be heard from miles away. Spawns a goblin on an adjacent tile once a day. Appears for every 10 mountain or rock tiles. Templar says, I didn't know how time works in this game yet. I had a misconception that it only ticked when you were in combat for the healing ring, so I was more swayed on the vampirism over regen. But honestly, yeah, regen, good call. Defense and regen per second. Damage to all. Counter vampirism. I think I'll stick with the one I currently have. And here we go. Mountain Peak. A stone giant could support the sky itself if it weren't already gone. Plus 121 max HP. Plus 5 max HP for every adjacent mountain, rock, or tile. Oh, mountain or rock tile. Spawns a harpy every 2 days. Please note the harpy is not a good thing, as they usually aren't. See, the problem with goblins is they hit real fast. This is a massive improvement. Ah, Bandit Camp. Masters of trading their poverty for someone else's life. Spawns a bandit on an adjacent tile every 2 days. Bandits prefer villages. Appears for every 2 village tiles. My HP's getting low, though. Regen per second 2.4. I wonder if that's better than the other 3 that I've already got. Probably. Regen per second was pretty powerful before. Let's take the risk. It seems to be helping me heal significantly. Good to know. Ah, here we go. So now we have a level up. Grants the hero +1 resurrection, full healing. 10% chance to keep the card after placing its tile. Doesn't work for the golden cards. Damage is increased by 20% of defense value. I'll take the free regen. Oh, finally. A weapon upgrade. Oh man, that's so much nicer. Woof. That is rough. And now check this out. Yeah, empty treasury. A treasury without treasure. An empty shell, a sorry sight, especially for its stone guardians that have slept through their eternal watch. Spawns a gargoyle every 3 days. Gargoyles are just another enemy to deal with, but you get so much stuff out of it if you manage to complete one. Oblivion! A bit of the Lich's magic causes anything to be totally forgotten. So let's see. I'll use it on the Goblin Camp. I don't think Goblin Camps really have any purpose to exist. Battlefield spawns a chest on an adjacent tile. Each loop, enemies on the tiles around it can become ghosts when they die. Max HP goes up by a couple hundred? Sure. And there's a harpy. What kind of slime was that? Another vampire mansion. Oh wait, it's not going to work unless it's adjacent to it. Gosh dang it. Oh well. Templar says, man, got all the mountains. Yup. Because this gets bonuses if you build more mountains or rocks around it. Maybe I should have put it up here. Oh well. Quest done. I don't remember what that does. Templar says, can it fuse even more? The mountain? Sadly, no. And apparently you can only have one on the map as well, which is why I wasn't attempting to build a second. So check this out. Blood Path. Not only ghosts are created on the battlefields, spawns a blood clot every 4 days, which is an enemy type. So any tiles on the road that overlap between 2 different battlefields or more will gain a blood path. Well, I think the blood clot spawns. It can drop like special equipment or something. Oh, I can get another trait. Deals you a full hand of Oblivion cards. From now on, using Oblivion cards heals the hero by 10% of his max HP. If your HP drops below 30%, your regen is doubled. You will get a new choice of 3 traits. I'll take Blissful Ignorance. Believe it or not, this is a really handy ability to have. Because now I can get rid of this. And this. And let's see. I'll actually take out this one. And see, now I've been fairly healed up, and additionally, I have all these backed up, so when I do eventually fight the Lich, I can use those to take down whatever of his tower remains to weaken him even further. Man, these ain't frickin' worth it. I need to do more building up here. I've got this beacon here and nothing that is guarding against. Ah, it's a mimic. Oh yeah, I forgot. Hungry Grove. A blood grove that has lost its connection with the forest, in constant agony because of its irrational existence. Occasionally attacks the heroes for 17 damage, devours enemies that have less than 20% HP left. Yeah. Another vampire mansion, gosh dang. Oh, dang it, that got rid of the whole village? I thought it was only going to erase the enemies on it. Shoot. Well, that was a mistake. Hopefully I get another one. Well, goodness. And see, thanks to this Oblivion upgrade, I've now reached full health. This one has regen and vampirism. That sounds really handy, actually. Oh, dagger versus axe, that's why there's the huge power difference. Let's try this. I don't remember if there's a synergy with this or not. Nope. Ah, and this village has upgraded at some point. Count's lands. The village is thriving under the vampire's protection, and its inhabitants are very generous. Heals 90 HP upon entering, and gives you a quest with a better reward. So that's the thing, is that in the lore of this game, vampires aren't just unfortunate souls. They are, as you might expect, filthy, stinking rich and extremely experienced in life. So as long as they are well fed, they are actually very beneficial to have around. So it's recommended that if you have a vampire in the lands, just show them respect, find a way to keep them fed, and you'll actually benefit from it. So that's why you get a ransacked village for a time that then turns into Count's lands, because the vampires are hungry, so they just raid the village for sustenance for a while, but once they're satisfied, the village becomes something that they kind of rule over and have to take care of because that's their source of food, but also because, you know, they were people once, and they can provide for the people better than the people can provide for themselves. Usually games make vampires the bad guys, says Templar. Well, that's the thing. Technically, they're neutral in this case. Ah, and there we go. He was able to build one part of his palace. It was here that the sorcerer Omicron conducted his futile experiments in an attempt to stop the heat death of the universe. Every palace increases Lich's HP and damage by 5%. Incursion radiates with powerful energy that devours space and time itself. It is time to face the destiny of this world. So let's just get rid of that. I've got so many vampires, dude. Battering Ram. The hero rushes into battle head-on, and his first attack has a 75% chance to stun each enemy for 1 second. Every morning, the hero's sword is filled with sunlight, causing its next attack to deal double damage to all, but that's only one attack. Each time the hero passes through a tile, he will heal for 0.5 times loop HP for each non-road tile around it. That sounds like the best way to go. How is it possible? That's right. You didn't Wait. This conversation. I remember it. I killed you before. What the hell is happening? Killed? Me? I see. So that's how it is. I'm just his afterimage, not the original. You have no idea what you've done. I love how the Lich is self-aware. Also that he's filled with stars and such. Really cool. So how many more times do I have to do this world a favor by slicing you in half? I don't think you're able to comprehend this. I'm a part of the self-defense mechanism, one of the multitudes of copies sent to other realities at the moment of death. My destruction cannot be undone, but in an endless series of attempts, different outcomes are possible. I defeated you once, and I can do it again. Ooh. He's evading real hard. We got him, though. I could change nothing, but your victory won't change anything either. Eternity will grind you into dust, and I'm just a small gear in that process now. If killing you makes me stronger, I won't need an eternity. Now be gone. Choose one reward. Axis tilt. Each day passes 15% faster. Treasure Hunter. 5% chance for a chest to spawn on top of a killed enemy. Awakened Fragment. 2% chance to get a whole resource sphere instead of a chunk. I think I'll take that because those spheres are really valuable. I get 1 free revive. If I recall. So I'll stay and keep going. And there's a flesh golem. I don't remember what spawns those. Goodness! We can build another treasury. Let's go up here. Another village. Let's put it right there. And that one, if I can help it, I'll try not to put vampires around it. Come on. Ooh, and yet another treasury. That can go down here. I'm sure you can see now what I meant when I said these Oblivion cards are really handy. Easily one of the best perks you can get, at least for Chapter 1. Hungry Grow's looking a little active. By the way, when you see those roots show up, that's the Hungry Grove doing its work. But you can see it's now released a thing. Excuse me. If only I could put this here. Put it down here. Another vampire mansion. You gotta be kidding me. I'll put you all the way over here just for fun. Actually, let's go here. This might be a bad mistake, but I have no idea. What was that? Another treasury. I don't usually manage to get 5. Goodness. There's a blood clot. Ooh. I've now completed 4 treasuries, man. That's ridiculous. Streamer luck? Maybe. But also because I've done this mission before, this chapter. So, like, I'm just slightly overpowered for it. But yeah, definitely some luck going on here. Another vampire mansion. Getting tired of the vampires, man. Templar said, holy crap, it's 1:30 a.m. here. I was only planning to stay up till 12-ish. I got encapsulated, and like I mentioned before, yeah, the graphics grew on me a bit. Dude, I love the graphics in this game. I love this CRT look. Do you think I should keep going, or should I call it now so you can see what it looks like when you can upgrade the camp? I guess it doesn't really do anything. It just kind of puts a thing there. Sometimes you get a cutscene if you build something new. So I suppose I'll just keep going. See how far I can get. Templar says, do what you like, doesn't matter to me. Have a great night, man. Hopefully I can make it to Starbound tomorrow. I hope you can. I'd love to see you there. 34 to 52? Goodness gracious. What just happened? I saw that blink over here. What just happened? Oof. This is gonna be wild. I've almost covered the entire thing, but I don't think I'll live long enough to take advantage of it. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. This is absurd. I don't have anywhere else to put this thing. Goodness. I'm so overpowered now. Well, I think this is the first time I've successfully covered the entire road. Oh, the boss is almost here. Unless I just keep going infinitely and I don't fight him again. Oh my gosh, I was getting real tired, but I kind of don't want this to end. I'm doing incredibly well. Oh, a chance to be revived. Right. That was an incredible run, but I'm getting tired. I need to go to bed. Retreat. We need the most. See, campfire, field kitchen, gymnasium, survivor's tents, cemetery, tents, survivor's tents. The smithy. Gets to go there. By the anvil of the seven seas, if it isn't a little forge. Yeah, you've no idea how I miss the heat of the furnace and the smell of metal. We'll have some proper tools now, laddie. You have my word. You'll even have something for those journeys of yours. You're quite enthusiastic. Something tells me you're no stranger to the sailor's craft. Shiver me hammers, how'd you know? It doesn't matter, though. You're right. Don't you worry. I'll show you these hands can hold a hammer as good as they can hold the helm in a storm, even for a dozen days in a row. It's a miracle we could find some fertile soil, and by a miracle save some seeds of precious healing herbs. But the real miracle is that all these healing poultices and balms still have some effect. We already lost many people because of the cataclysm. It would be nice not to lose more to any diseases. And these potions can help you as well. Take a vial or two on your trip, and your chances of getting back in one piece will be much higher. Heck yeah. Can't build anything else, sadly. It's just one away from the rogue. Oh well. Well, I think that'll do it for tonight, everyone. I am really tired and I need to get to bed. I've been up since 3:30 this morning and it's now almost midnight. But I hope you enjoyed. I am looking forward to finally finishing Starbound when I get the chance, hopefully tomorrow. But yeah, it was nice to play this in the meantime. You get a little break from playing the same things all the time. I have fixed my Discord, so my Discord should be joinable now, properly. And there's always... Also, don't forget my YouTube, where I upload occasional game clips and stream re-uploads. And with that all said... Alright, have a good night, everyone.